This is beautiful West Beach, COVID-free South Australia. Welcome to the broadcast. It's another round of Premier League softball in South Australia on Spacequake Sports, NITV, or wherever you're watching this stream. Eric Ballnar here, joined by Kathy Lambert and Lee Hull. Welcome to the broadcast, and thanks for tuning in, everybody at home.
Yeah, thanks for coming along, and what a great day we've got here. Couldn't get asked for perfect conditions here at West Beach. Sunny, no wind. Lee, have you got a forecast for us?
I've got a forecast. It'll be just that, Kathy. Sunny and no wind, and that'll remain for the remainder of this game. It's a cracker of a day.
Port Adelaide Magpies versus West Torrens Eagles. That is the two teams playing today. Port Adelaide, up until last week, they were the only undefeated team in the competition, but they lost their first game to Walkerville. They're sitting at 8 points, second in their ladder. Now, just 2 weeks ago, West Torrens were the only winless team in the competition, but they've won back-to-back games, and now they sit fifth on the ladder. And if they win this game, they're creeping back up to that top two. You can't count West Torrens out. That sets the stage very briefly of who the two teams are. What are you looking forward about this game today?
Yeah, like as you said, I think the thing is that West Torrens are finding their form again. They've got some new players in the team and playing in some new positions. So it's taken a little while, I think, for them to settle in. But certainly the last two games, they're showing, their usual firepower in as a defensive team and an offensive team. So I think they're definitely going to give Port a little bit of a run for their money. And Lee, anything else?
I'm looking forward to Kathy and Eric to see Michaela Yankovic pitch again, because the only time we've seen in A-grade pitching was against Sturt on Diamond 2 a couple of weeks ago, and they won Port Adelaide 4-3. So Johanna Grau missing today, and I look forward to seeing Michaela, because if you can beat Sturt 4-3, and this is your first turn at A-grade pitching the entire game, then you've got something.
I think normally we would look at the calendar, see this game, Port Adelaide versus West Torrens, and we'd say Steph Tracinsky, Team Australia pitcher, dominant in the Premier League competition here, versus Yo Grauer, the reigning Kath Carroll medalist. But that's not the case today. Both teams are having to go down the depth chart and use some of their younger players. And you just talked about Michaela Yankovic, but we have Taylor Mead pitching for West Torrens today.
Yeah, and Taylor last week on Wednesday night, was it Wednesday night or Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday, because that's right, we had fully loaded this week. Last Saturday, she pitched a shutout. And that's an incredible result for her as a young developing pitcher. And, that's what Taylor's just got to rely on. She's just got to put the ball, in the strike zone, obviously not right through the middle, but she's just got to realize that she's got a great defense behind her, a great team behind her who's going to help keep those runs down to a minimum.
And that's a fantastic point you made. She's got a fantastic defense, probably the best defense in this competition. Has been for a while.
It has been for a while, and Port Adelaide's defense trying to make a claim to keep improving and keep being that wall behind Michaela Yankovic. You just saw her on screen warming up. Lee, as this game's about to start, why don't you take us through the defensive lineup for the Port Adelaide Magpies?
Thank you, Eric. It's Michaela Yankovic pitching the Cara Tilton, Tash Straps at first, Megan Williams at second, third base Charlize Callahan, and at shortstop Taylor Chillingworth. The outfield left to right, Jess Neves, Nevis, Ella Forrester and Gemma Letton. And that's pretty much their lineup except for the pitching position, the usual lineup.
Any one of those players, we talked about Yo Grauer out of the lineup, that's notable. Who on this Port defensive lineup here are you going to be watching for tonight from both of you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I've always been a real fan of the youngsters in this team. Taylor Chillingworth, Charlize Callahan, Gemma Letton, and Chillingworth particularly has had such a great start to the batting, her batting for this season. So really excited to see what she brings to the game.
Lee, anyone for you?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I see Jess Nevis the last couple of games has gone from second base out to left field, and I coached her when she was younger at Port Adelaide as an outfielder. I think she's a very good outfielder, so I look forward to her continuing on the good work.
Well, we are underway as Michaela Yankovic gives the first pitch of the game to Jordan Harris. She's at the top of the lineup for West Torrens. She's followed by Lana Kaesler and Faith Picard, due up in this lineup for West Torrens. And starting right at the top with Jordan Harris, she's Very fast. She's on Team Australia. She hits for a great average. She's been one of the most consistent and dominant players in the last few years in the competition, starting right with her all the way down the lineup. This lineup just doesn't give any pitcher a rest, does it?
No, absolutely. They've got to work hard. It's not like there's going to be that's a great hit.
And right away, Jordan Harris cracks this one. Ella Forrester misplays this one, and that could be costly for Jordan Lambert. She's getting to third. She's going to make a push for home. There will be a play at the plate. Jordan Lambert dives in, and it is an inside the Parker for Jordan Harris to get the Eagles in flight. Those wheels are in motion.
Absolutely. She hadn't slowed down over winter, has she? Took a wide out from third. You might see it on the replay. That was a nice hard hit. Yeah, and unfortunate there for Ella. She just didn't get her body quite in the right spot.
Well, she attacked it hard to both of you, but the prime objective then on with the ball hit that hard is to get down, block the ball, stop it. It'll be a one base. It turned into 4.
This is just a testament to Jordan Harris's speed, because if you make that one tiny mistake like we just saw out there, she will make you pay. You have no margin for error when defending a player like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Lana Kaesler.
Just keeps coming, as you said.
Just keeps coming. Yep, Lana Kaesler has been one of the top players in the competition for a while. Great defensively at third base. We talked about that West Torrens defense at the top of the broadcast, but she's one of the best with the bat as well. And the Eagles are starting flying pretty early on.
Yeah, they changed their top part of their lineup apart from Jordan. They've swapped Lana and Faith. Faith used to always bat at 2, but Faith, I think, could bat anywhere.
Yeah,
Gives
definitely.
you variety.
Yeah, and it gives it seems to be working. So I think obviously Coach Scott's going to stick with this for a little while until he needs to do something different.
Well, they had to change it, didn't they? Because they weren't getting enough runs.
Yep.
So they had to do something about the lineup.
Absolutely. It's a 2-2 count here as Yankovic will deal to Lana Kaesler. And so there's a 3-2 count as Kaesler gets aboard. So a good offensive early start here for West Torrens. But Lee, you just talked about something needing to change. They opened the season with kind of a surprise 9-5 loss to Seacombe. You knew with Steph Tracinsky hurt and not getting back probably until January, February, that they were going to have to rely on some of the younger pitching. They lost 9-5. They lost to the Hills 7-5, then Port Adelaide 6-1, then Sturt 8-0. They really did struggle those first 4 games, including those 2 games versus Port and Sturt, where they couldn't really get any hits off of the pitchers.
Nothing was happening, was it? Nothing at all.
But then the Eagles woke up. They beat Walkerville 7-4. They were up 4-1. Walkerville came back. Steph Tracinsky ended up dealing a big clutch hit in that one as this is grounded over towards third. Charlize Callahan makes the play at 1. Lana Kaesler advances over to second base. And then they beat Seacombe on Saturday 2-0. Cara Schultz and Lana Kaesler started a rally, and Steph Tracinsky again gives them a final knock. So that lineup now starting to wake up a little bit, and they've already got a run in their first 3 batters.
Yeah, and definitely Cara Schultz and Steph Tracinsky the last couple of games have really contributed to some good hard hits and some RBIs that have obviously made such a significant difference in the scoring. So yeah, it's great having Steph back. She's not pitching at the moment, but you know what a benefit to the team from a batting position.
She's a terrific hitter of the ball, Steph, and no mug at right field. In the outfield, got a strong overarm throw, which we saw in the warm-up in the 5 minutes on the diamond. But she's worth a place as a batter alone.
Well,
we know what she can do pitching-wise.
This is her batting now. She had 2 hits in her first game, didn't play the next 3, had 2 hits in game number 5 for the Eagles, and a hit in her last game. So she's only played 3 games, but she's got 5 hits.
Yeah. You know, as a youngster, I mean, I've obviously watched Steph grow up since primary school days, and she's always been known for a hitter. But, you know, when you...
and there it is, a hit up the middle, but it goes right to Chillingworth. They turn 1. Can they turn 2? She's just safe. Steph Tracinsky just grounds that out, and they get Schultz. Kaesler advances to third. So we'll take a look at the leading team's replay here. There's 1, and I think her foot was just off the bag, but you can see Steph try to leg this one out. Great look at the leading team's replay.
Well, it was an excellent save from first base Tash Straps, because that was another run if she didn't stop that ball then.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do get to 2 outs. They've only allowed the 1 run. It was off of Jordan Harris's hit out towards center field, misplayed there, and she just rounded the bases as Jordan Harris does. But here's a look at from a different angle. They turn 1, almost. That's a close play.
Yeah. All right, Kelsey Nucky.
Kelsey Nucky up to bat. She's got runners on the corner. Chance to add to the damage here. She swings through that one. She took a big hack, but that one just slipped away from her on Michaela Yankovic.
Yeah, and I noticed from the West Torrens lineup, Sophie Hoyle's out today, so they'll definitely miss those big bats from her. But as you said before, Eric, there's a lot in the lineup anyway.
Well, they have Kara Schultz, who moved over not long ago from the Seacombe Tigers.
She did.
Another big addition in this lineup. Someone that's starting to hit with confidence. Kelsey Nucky has been in the competition for a while, one of the most consistent first base women in the game. And a very patient batter.
Yeah, she is. I'm noticing the face guard, and I don't know if she used to play with that, but I do recall over the last couple of years some unfortunate hits off of the bat into her face. So I wonder if the face guard is.
And Nucky takes a big crack at this one. This one going back to left field, and a fantastic leaping catch from the magician, Jess Neves.
That was awesome.
Comes up with a little bit of magic to take away what could have been 2 runs.
She tracked that so well.
That one flew off the bat. Yeah, you can see her tracking back right here on the leading team's replay in the sun and a leap backwards.
Fantastic.
And there's we'll see a big smile from Jess Neves, as we always do. So some shady defense to start the inning, but some great defense to make up for it. And all in all, could have been worse. They had a lot of base runners, and they only allow the 1 run.
Yeah, they'll be going out into the field with a lot of confidence after a start like that. So what they've got to do now is what they do very well: knuckle down and make sure they don't get ahead of themselves.
Lee Taylor Mead hustling out into the circle, but who is the team around her? We've talked about this great defense. What does this defense look like?
Thank you, Eric. It's Taylor pitching to Faith Pickard. First, Kelsey Nucky. Second, not Amy Wheeler. It's Mary Fuss is there. And third base, Lana Kaisler. At shortstop, Jordan Harris, Nee Lambert. And the outfield from left to right is Jackie Beale, Alicia Marching, Steph Tracinsky.
And you just got another look at the replay of Jordan Harris flying around the bases on that one.
Lee, I'm just going to make a correction for you here. It's Kara Schultz out at second base.
Okay. Thank you.
And that would be a spot normally filled by Sophie Hoyle.
Correct, yeah. Sophie, I believe I saw Kara there in their last game as well, so Sophie might be on work duties. She's just recently graduated as a police officer.
So Taylor Mead steps in. She, the team as a whole, starting to settle down, but Taylor Mead, and you think this West Torrens young pitching combination they have right now to fill in for Steph Tracinsky, they're only going to get more confident and they're only going to get better as the season goes on, and you saw that in a 2-0 win on the weekend. Yeah,
absolutely, and Taylor did a great job and good defense behind her as well, and young and Izzy Benedictson did pitch the whole game against Walkerville a couple of Wednesdays ago, and again, such an exciting young pitcher coming up through the ranks, and she did a great job as well. And when things got tight, she really hung together and stayed cool, and they came out with a victory.
The umpires for this game, Ian Gray on plate, Steve Wallace-Yarrow at first, Neville Lawrence at third.
Fantastic umpiring crew as always. So Jess Neves steps up to bat. She has been hot with the bat to start the year, hasn't she, Kathy? Yeah,
she has. And just another, I love watching Jess play. She loves the game. She enjoys it. She's friendly to everybody. But yeah, she's just so solid and has had such a great start to the season. Her stats are, she's had 17 at bats for 7 hits, so 4.12 average at the moment. And as you said, Lee playing in a new position out in the field, and obviously, based on what we just saw.
She hits this over to Lana Kaisler. Well taken throw across the diamond. Neves hustling down the line, but won't get there in time, so dangerous batter away.
Yeah, and that's a really good start for West Torrens. Lana, she's so safe and secure out there, isn't she?
Very reliable, especially if the ball's hit hard to her. She's reflexes of a cat.
Ella Forrester comes up to bat. Someone we're just waiting to. You know she has it in her. We're just waiting to see Ella really get hot and explode. And there's a good sign, putting this to opposite field. But Steph Tracinsky gets there, and that's kind of the tough luck sometimes, as in softball. Sometimes when you're not having the hits fall your way, you hit the ball well, goes opposite field, and just in the wrong location.
Yeah, nice solid hit too, but yeah, as you said, wrong location. It's probably a little bit high.
But you can take confidence from those at-bats, knowing that you can hit the ball with power opposite direction.
Yeah, definitely.
Taylor Chillingworth, she is someone that a lot of people have as a rising star and breakout player in the competition. She's come as advertised this year, hits in all except one of her games, multiple hit in 2 of her games. You've been liking to watch some of the younger players like Taylor Chillingworth, sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. Over the last couple of seasons, these little young guns from Port Adelaide came in about 2 seasons ago, just as they were probably about 15. They were under 16s, and you know that you just thought, wow, if these girls could stick with the sport and stay together in this team, you just knew that they're going to get better and better, and that's exactly what we've seen. Just some real exciting prospects coming through from our junior ranks.
Taylor Mead has this one just tip foul.
Yeah, Taylor Chillingworth looks like she's eager. She's just a little bit ahead of it, isn't she?
Just a bit keen, I think. But that's what happens when you're young, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know you can hit the ball. You know the pitch is not going to blow you away.
And this one is hit high in the air, but right towards center field, where Alicia Marching makes the play. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Taylor Mead and the West Torrens defense, and they've kind of picked up right where they left off for Seacombe defensively. Balls were put in play, but it was nothing really too threatening. Another nice job from Taylor Mead, who really is settling down as this season is prolonging. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's her job, isn't it? She knows she's not going to blow them away with sheer pace or movement. Just pitch the spots. Faith will call the spots. She knows the batter's Faith. She's played against them for many seasons now, and so she knows what to call.
And she's just got to keep West Torrens in games. That's what the name of the game is. Steph Tracinsky is, you can't really replace a Steph Tracinsky because she's a national team player, the only national team pitcher in the, well, now Georgia Hood getting on the ranks, but she is as dominant as they really come pitching-wise for Steph in South Australia. You can't replace that. You just need someone to hold the ground.
Yeah, that's right, and that's her job to do. And she's, so far so good. She's doing a good job of it, and just getting better each week. Maybe the first couple of weeks, just trying to settle herself in, but I think the more she's with the team, the more comfortable she's getting and understanding, what she needs to do.
We thank everybody for joining us here on Space Quake Sports. 1-0 lead for West Torrens. That came on the very first batter of the game, where Jordan Lambert put one out in the outfield, misplayed just a little bit, and it was just enough for her to fly around the field. So make sure you say good day wherever you are watching from right here on Space Quake. So Alicia Marching, she woke up in a big way this season. She had 3 hits in her last game, which got her which broke her out of a slump to start the year. Those were her first 3 hits of the season.
Yeah, she's somebody obviously that likes the pitching of Jade Peterson, because I know a lot of people don't, but it just worked really well for Alicia last weekend.
And obviously with a little bit of confidence, she puts this one back into play. Megan Williams across the diamond makes the out. That's 1 down. Jackie Beal, next woman up.
Yeah, I saw Jackie against the against the Walkerville game a couple weeks ago do a beautiful triple with this running bunt style that she does now. She started off as a right-handed batter, but it's moved over to this the last couple years, and it was just perfectly placed.
So what would inspire a change in style? As you said, she was on the right side of the plate. Now she's on the left side, and it's a different swing completely.
It is. I think it was probably just more of a need situation a couple of years ago in the team that we had, the team that West Torrens had, but Dave Gooley was coaching at the time, and I just think that there was an opportunity. Jackie's very quick, and there was an opportunity just for a different style of play, and she was willing to take it up. And it's just and probably that first year she did doing a little bit of both, still right-handed and then some left-handed slug bunt. But over time, this is what we see her doing predominantly now.
Now you say it was a need at the time. Why would a team, in very simple terms, I guess, is she Slaps this one back over towards Neves, and another great catch from Jess Never Say Neves. Another fantastic play. She is on fire out in the outfield.
That was fantastic.
I was talking to Jess, well, not only during the broadcast in the the fully loaded competition on Thursday, but also after her game last week. And she was saying she's really enjoyed playing in the outfield, a bit of a different mix for her, and you can see how important it is. She's like a magnet, the ball just going her direction.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, she was an outfielder as a younger player, and she loves being out there, and she's got pace, and we've seen it so far today, haven't we?
And those are tricky balls that can easily be misplayed, or you can just judge a bit long. You have to track it in the right way. She looked pretty good there.
Yeah, it looks very comfortable. I didn't realize, Lee, that she had been an outfielder. So, I only see her as an infielder. So I was thinking, wow, this girl can play everywhere. But, she hasn't lost it, has she? She's just a nice little all-rounder. Good, handy team player.
You're right. She has been playing a lot of infield. But what does that say about the young players like Taylor Chillingworth and Charlize Callahan that Port Adelaide has the confidence in to say, you know what, we can move Jess Neves to the outfield because we're okay here.
Yep, that's exactly right, Eric. And when she played for Glenelg, she played mainly at second base. But
Mary Fuse cracks one up the middle.
Yeah, that's a nice solid hit. You can just hear it off the bat and perfectly placed.
Prolongs the inning and gives Jordan Harris an opportunity. If you hear us calling her Jordan Lambert, it's just, I think, a few growing pains. She just got married a couple weekends ago.
They've just had their 1 month and 1 month anniversary, and this is the first day Jordan has the Harris name on her shirt, so she just picked it up this week.
Starts with a home run.
And you are here in the broadcast booth with Lee Hull and Kathy Lambert, and yes, there is a direct relation between Kathy Lambert and the woman formerly known as Jordan Lambert. I think we'll be mixing that up a little bit, especially when you're calling her name so often in so many big, key, iconic plays in the competition. I think in the home run call, I called her both the names during the thing. It was Lambert rounding the bases, Harris scores.
I thought it was quite funny listening to the Fully Loaded broadcast on Thursday night with there was quite a few combinations of people here helping the commentary, which was awesome. And there was a lot of toing and froing.
And we asked her after one of the games in an interview, saying, "What do we call you?" And she just smiled and said, "Well, Harris, but it's okay."
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say any messages that I'm coming through because she has changed it on her media, and anything coming through that's got the Harris name on it, I was just kind of like, oh, this must be from James, and then I have to look sort of closely at it, get my glasses on, and realize, oh no, it's Jordan. So slowly but surely, we're seeing a bit more of it.
Easy to be confused.
They'll have plenty in common, won't they?
Oh, plenty to talk about.
Both terrific softballers.
And here's a big hit from Jordan Harris. This one's back. It's to the wall, and that one is gone. Bombs away for Jordan Harris.
Wow, that was flying. She hit that
monster shot. How you doing? It's 3-0.
Well, good for her. She'll be very excited about that. But that's all a bit funny because we were telling her that if the Harris on the back of her name doesn't work for her today, then she needs to possibly get rid of it. But who knows? Maybe she's convinced to keep it on.
Well, I'll
now.
be interested to see her third turn at bat, see what she can produce.
That was monstrous. Off of the light pole, and you can see the great replay as Jordan Harris cracks one.
Sounded like it was going all the way, didn't it, Eric?
It did. You kind of knew. There's nothing Jess Neves could do, no magic she could conjure up to do anything to get that one. That was a no-doubter. So a great start for Jordan Harris. She had a single to start the game, a single to center field. That was bobbled by Ella Forrester, and she flew around the bases and advanced and scored on her first at-bat, and then a home run. So she's touched them all in both of her at-bats so far. 8 total bases, 1 home run. What a start for Jordan Harris.
Yeah, and it's...
And now a good opposite field piece of hitting from Alana Kaesler. She gets her second time on base, her first hit of the game.
Yeah, nice solid hitting. That's what you're hearing from these coming off the bat. They're timing it really well. They're hitting in the middle of the ball in the middle of the bat. So, they're whatever wasn't working for them at the start of the season is now
sure is now
working now. And just another look there at Jordan's home run, little celebrations at the end there.
You don't see too many home runs over this fence here. One, it's a tall fence. You got to hit it with some power. And that one had a lot more distance it could have carried. You could have moved that fence out another 20 feet. That was a moonshot from
huge.
Jordan Harris. And I'm glad I got her name right on that time around. I have a feeling that one might be a highlight you might see making the rounds on social media the next week or so. Faith Picard grounded out to third in her first at-bat. So as a young pitcher, Michaela Yankovic, she's had the ball put in play a couple times. You allow a big home run like that. When you're pitching and something happens, what's the mindset? Are you shell-shocked a little bit, or what are you thinking?
Well, I think hopefully she's. I don't know Michaela that well, but I'm hoping that she's got people around her saying, you know what, it's just one. We've still got a lot of game to play. It's early innings. We just got to put that behind us and just keep plugging away, one batter at a time, one batter at a time.
And there are 2 outs here, but this is just some good hitting. They got the first 2 outs now, 4 straight hits from the Eagles. It all started with a great at-bat from Mary Fuse to get on base to give Jordan Harris the chance to send the 2-run shot. Now back-to-back singles, one to right field, now one to left field, and Kara Schultz has 2 runners on with 2 out.
Yeah, dangerous batter here for, dangerous for the West Torrens team, but also dangerous from a defensive side as well. So.
This is what we saw last week in a Port Adelaide game when they played Walkerville. Walkerville, the whole game, it was great 2-out hitting, as this one's a little roller and an easy out at first. So 2-out hitting is a big story in this second inning. They rip off 4 straight hits and score 2 runs. But that was Port Adelaide last week. They could get the opponents to 2 out, but Walkerville just found ways to get 2-out hits, and they won the game 4-1.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's been any easy games, or there's certainly no easy teams. It's a very, very even competition, and I think that's what teams have to remember, is that it's not over till it's over. And every team has got some real strength in their batting right through the lineup. And so you just got to keep your head in the game.
Like we said 2 weeks ago, West Torrens were 0-4 in last place, and if they win today, they can be at 6 points, possibly tied for third, depending how Walkerville goes, and maybe just 2 points behind Port Adelaide, who were undefeated and then falling down the ladder. Things change quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Makes for an exciting competition, even in such an early part of the season.
And only the one import in the competition here, in Yo Grauer, who's just getting a little bit of rest right now and taking some time off to recalibrate a little bit, Lee?
Yeah, I think so. I think she played in Queensland, that competition, a few weeks ago, and I think personally she didn't look like she had the same zip about her in the last few weeks since she came back. So I guess she's just having a bit of a breather. Surely she hadn't gone over to vote in America all that way. Send a postal vote there. I believe they're popular.
Well, seems to be. I've heard that it's the most postal votes ever, or some stats like something similar.
Makes you think the Australian system's pretty well all right, isn't it? Everybody has to vote.
Cara Tilton up to bat. And she swings at this one drifting foul. Well, a couple celebrities, we can call them, joining us for the broadcast today. But by joining, I mean just kind of, watching the broadcast. We've got Vicky McFarland, who was one of the imports for the Magpies. That really was a key catalyst in turning this program around. It was only a few years ago the Magpies did not have a win in the entire season, and they brought over a couple imports, one of them being Vicky McFarland. Helps change the culture, help get the young players going, and now this is a team that a lot of people have favored to win the premiership this year.
Yeah, and you're right. That's
and a big
huge
shot. This one back to the wall. Is this one going to go, but not runs out of real estate? Alicia Marching has to backtrack and bring that one in.
That was a big hit, and Cara's seeing the ball so well this season. But back to Vicky McFarland, Eric. A big shout out to Vicky, absolute character of the game, big legend in the state. I really enjoyed the opportunity to coach her when I was working with the Stars. Just always grateful for anything she can learn from everybody around her, and really do miss her.
Another person watching and commenting on the stream is Madison Scott, who was the ace of the Eagles for a couple of seasons. As this one grounded over towards Lana Kaesler. Throw across the diamond. And
that's a rocket. She throws hard, doesn't she?
And that's the kind of defense that helps when you have those young pitchers like your Taylor Meads, like your Maddie Scotts, when she, especially in her rookie season. She mentioned that a few times on the broadcast in interviews that, hey, she doesn't have to worry. The ball goes in play, and you feel like everything's just going to be scooped up. She's over in Texas at university right now, Maddie Scott.
She definitely is, and doing well from all I hear. But, yeah, and I think with Maddie, you could see, again, a young pitcher for this team, and you could just see over the years that she just developed that confidence and feeling like, actually, I don't have to do everything. I've got this great team around me, and she just got better and better once she, was able to deal with that.
Good pitch there from Taylor Mead. That one just drops down low and gets Tash Straps to chase. So she's ahead 0-2. And a very nice start, relying on the defense. A couple of big hits, and this one goes right to this second basewoman, Kara Schultz. And that's just been the kind of couple innings that the Magpies have had. They've had a couple big hits. You saw Ella Forrester go opposite field, but it just goes right to Steph Tracinsky. You saw a big hit to lead off the inning from Cara Hilton, straight away to dead straight center field. It just needed that extra foot more to get to the wall, but caught at the track. And then that one, that bloop just isn't falling for Port Adelaide right now. But things usually even out, don't they?
Certainly do. I think it's just little worrying signs to me here in the Port side. I think we might see Tash Straps have a pitch before this game's over, unless it tightens up a bit more.
Tash Straps pitched for a little bit for Sturt Baseball Club, and a reliable pitcher, handy multi-positional player that Port Adelaide have. But no Yo Grauer today, who is the import. That is the big story in this one, that it is a depth game, but they did beat Sturt with Michaela Yankovic as the pitcher. She put on a pretty good game. So Steph Tracinsky will lead things off, followed by Kelsey Nucky and Alicia Marching. Jordan Harris has been the star of this game. She's accounted for all three. She's responsible for all three of the runs for West Torrens as we enter the third inning. 7-inning games here. We are 30 minutes through a 90-minute time game, so it's 7 innings or whatever comes first, 90 minutes or 7 innings. I got there eventually. I'm trying to stay hot. A cracking shot there. This one's going to rattle all the way up against the wall. Steph Tracinsky gets to 2. She's going to make a play for 3. There's going to be a throw in there. She dives in there with a triple.
What a great hit, and look, she's been in form. We know that.
Hits the ball very hard, doesn't she?
She does.
Consistently.
Taylor Chillingworth had a good dive at that, but it just was coming too fast. It got through to her before she got in the right position.
Her 7th hit in just 4 games, Steph Tracinsky, that she's played. She is proving that she doesn't just need to be pitching to make a big impact, and what a dual threat she will be when she gets back in the circle. Kelsey Nucky now is a runner on third. She just got to get the ball in play.
Yes, I've got a feeling we're going to see Tash Straps, who pitched very well against West Torrens the last minor round games, if you remember. Stitched West Torrens completely up.
And they've got another option as well, Taylor Chillingworth, who's also not too handy in the pitching ring as well.
Yeah, but I think they'll give Michaela Yankovic a bit more time, I think, but not too much, I don't think.
Well, Port Adelaide very much well and truly in this game. They have yet to get a hit, but it is a hit parade right here as Kelsey Nucky throws this over to first. Good job holding the runner, though, and stopping Steph Tracinsky from scoring.
Yeah, Megan Williams always really cool, calm, and collected there on second base.
Experienced player, Megan.
Very much so.
And a good player.
So Alicia Marching had 3 hits in her last game, and those were pretty decisive hits as the Eagles just got across the line late versus Seacombe to win the game 2-0. They played a couple really close games to get their wins, so sometimes you got to fight for those wins to get the taste back, but winning's contagious, and another good shot from Alicia Marching cashes in a run, so she continues her strong form, and the balls are just falling right now for West Torrens, the second into the inning, and they make it a 4-0 game.
Yeah, Alicia, as we said before, 3 hits in her last game, and she's knocked up another one here. So she's also seeing the ball really well. Brings up Jackie Beal.
So contributions top to bottom from this lineup so far for West Torrens. Jackie Beal trying to join the hit parade. Everybody's got a hit.
Well, there's been 7 so far, by my reckoning,
7
Eric.
hits, yeah. I think 1. Yeah, there's been a few.
And we haven't played 3 innings yet.
Kara Schultz got on base with a hit by pitch earlier. Jackie Beal's only had the 1 at bat. She's the only person that has yet to get on base, but this is very early days in the game, and she had a pretty good at bat, or approach, her last at bat. And she's gonna lay down the bunt and try to run, and she's flying down there, and she gets there easily, but there might be a play at third. Nobody was there, a dive, didn't need to dive. Kelsey Nucky is gonna race home, and
Alicia Marching,
sorry, is gonna race home. She goes for a dive and then gets back up and scampers across home, but Jackie Beal with an RBI bunt single. How about that? She was flying down the line.
Yeah, and she set that up. You could see that was one of the reasons why, they talked her into potentially trying that left side. She's just so quick, and she just showed it then. Legged it out, made it easy.
West Torrens looking like they're having a lot of fun playing too, and Coach Butch Sims coming out there just trying to settle the team down. It's a 5-0 game. Things starting to spiral. Port Adelaide actually winless in their last 3 games. They had 2 draws and then they lost a game. So they're trying to find that winning feeling themselves, which I think the Eagles are kind of riding right now.
Recapture it.
It's a long season, like you said.
And Butch Sims called a timeout there, tried to settle the team down a little bit. No changes, but just trying to just regroup. It's early days again. Don't want it to blow out too much.
Keep it in check. Mary Fuse steps up, and I think part of the conversation would be how you pitch to someone like Mary Fuse, knowing that Jordan Harris is coming up, and she is as hot as they come right now. Just trying to settle the team down. It's a 5-0 game. West Torrens lead. Port Adelaide here, top of the 3rd. They are batting early and often. This lineup always a threat to do something dangerous. And here's a big shot. This one is going to go over the head of Ella Forrester against the wall. That should score 1 run. And how about the game from Mary Fuse?
Yeah, what a great contribution so far. Again, just one of these young up-and-coming players. But doing her thing, she's done exactly what she needs to do.
She had the 2-out hit to get a rally started that scored 2 in the last inning, and now she's got an RBI here. That is some big production from a late addition to the lineup as well down in the 9-hole. So Jordan Harris back up to bat. She singled and then legged it out to stretch it all the way around the diamonds on that same hit, and then a bomb to left field off of the light pole.
You'd be tempted to pass her up here, I reckon. I would love to do that.
I don't think you can. Well, you can.
You can.
And she swings at this one. This one's going to just get through. It takes a hop through. So Jordan Harris has a single and has scored another run.
Gee, that was a cruel bounce, wasn't it?
Oh, actually, it reminds me of one that Jordan had on Thursday night as well in the fully loaded competition.
What do you call this? This isn't going to be called an air. That's a hit.
Oh, it's gone right over.
That's a hit. That's not a misplay. That is the most unlucky bounce. But, yeah, that's just right over. Taylor Chillingworth had no idea.
It is almost exactly the same situation Jordan was in on Thursday, that bounce.
So so she's got 2 singles and a home run so far, Jordan Harris, and she's got 4 RBIs. That's a pretty good start to the day.
Not bad for how long we've been playing. Oh, yeah, that is. Gee, Mary Fuss did a good job for not
Well,
not getting herself out there.
Lambert entering the day, yet to have an RBI in the season. She's only played 4 games. She's yet to have an RBI, but today she's got 4. That gets her on the stat sheet pretty quickly, doesn't it? She's had a lot of hits, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to have people on base to have RBIs.
Exactly.
And when you're batting at the top of the lineup, those situations don't always present itself. But what a start here for Jordan Harris, as we do have a pitching change, as he said. Tash Straps, just as you predicted, Lee.
Tell me. Yeah.
So a couple changes here as Ella Forrester is going over to first, I believe, although Lee will give us a rundown when that happens.
I will, Eric.
Tash Straps coming into pitch, and it's the changeup that you got to watch from Tash Straps, isn't it? That's the one that batters need to be careful of and have to lay off of from a batting perspective.
Yeah, very experienced. Tash's been pitching a long time and very experienced. You know, she's not going to kill you with the pace, just like we were saying with some of the other pitchers today, but she just does so much with the ball and, you know, just keeps you guessing. But you can see that drop already.
You absolutely can, as 4 runs have already crossed the plate this inning to make it a 7-0 game. They needed to avoid the big inning versus this lineup, and that is something they have failed to do so far, scoring in each of the first 3, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third.
Here's the changes defensively for the Port. Tash Straps comes in the pitch. Ella Forrester comes in the back to first, replacing Tash. Gemma Letton goes to centre field, replacing Ella, and Michaela Jankovic, the starting pitcher, goes out to right field.
And that brings up Lana.
With a runner on first, and it's a quick one, and Jordan Lambert will take that easily and think about third, but she'll go back to second. So now a runner in scoring position, a base hit is going to score Jordan, certainly, from with the wheel she's got over at second.
That's what definitely should be looking for.
One for one so far, as this one's hit hard, and this one just finds a way through. Harris will stay at third, and Alana Kaesler gets over to first, and this just kind of sums up how things are going for Port Adelaide right now, and balls are just finding their way through the infield for the Eagles. Every break going their way.
They're either finding the gaps or they're just being hit so hard that it's just difficult to field.
Faith Picard, she's got a hit. She's 1 for 2 today. Runners on the corner, so this would really get this out of hand. At a 7-0 lead already for West Torrens. Good pitch from Tash Straps, just needing to settle, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She is. She'll find it soon. It's, as I said, she's been doing it for a long time, and I'm not sure that she's pitched yet this year. I haven't seen her, but it won't be long till she settled herself right back in.
And a hit through the gap once again scores a run for the Eagles. They've made it an 8-0 game. And the 9th batter of the inning in Cara Schultz is going to come up here, and the contributions just continue. Jordan Harris has 3 hits, 4 RBIs, including a home run. Lana Kaesler, she's got a couple hits. Faith Picard has 2 hits and an RBI. Cara Schultz was hit by a pitch and got on base. She's been on base. Steph Tracinsky, she's got 2 hits. Everybody making a contribution.
Yeah, they're seeing the ball so well. They'll be wanting to continue this over the next few weeks to try and get themselves a little bit closer to, you know, keeping in that top 4. I know it's early days, but you don't want to sort of leave it too late.
And another big hit. Cara Schultz is going to load the bases. No, Lana Kaesler, she's going to go home. She slides in there. Play over at third. Safe. And the runner will advance to second, but it's another RBI for the Eagles, this time from Cara Schultz, and it is 9-0.
Fantastic running by Faith Picard there. Just, you know, what potentially was just a single there. She's really kept her eye on opportunities. You know, when the ball's been thrown at other places for outs, she's just taken every opportunity she can for an extra base.
And it's the 10th batter of the innings coming in.
Steph Tracinsky started the party with a triple.
And wasn't it a cracker?
Unbelievable.
She really
it feels
hits
like
the
ages
ball
ago.
hard.
So we had a Tracinsky triple. Kelsey Nucky grounded out. Then a single that scored her. Alicia Marching had the RBI. Jackie Beal had his RBI single. Mary Fuse had an RBI double. Jordan Harris had an RBI single. Lana Kaesler scored thanks to a Faith Picard RBI single, and then Carr Schultz had an RBI single. Everybody, this is just RBI hitting, and this one just goes foul.
Wow.
And that one was going to a dangerous corner.
It sure was. You get them down those lines in the corners, and for some players here, that's in the park home run.
Things really adding up here. Steph Tracinsky, 2 for 2 to start the day. Trying to go 3 for 3. She's gone in the same spot 3 times in a row, just rolling down.
A little bit eager that time, Steph. She's just got to play a little more patience.
And one thing that will have to be brought into consideration at some point would be the mercy rule, isn't it?
Yeah, I think does it kick in around 4th inning? I'm not sure what the difference usually needs to be, but I think it's usually around the 4th inning. Maybe 10 in the 4th. I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
for
we'll
you.
find out.
There's the shot there, and this one's going to hug the line. Steph Tracinsky pushing for 2. It's going to be a 2 RBI double for Steph.
Yeah, there you go. Just held it a tiny bit longer that time, and wow, what a super hit.
So Steph Tracinsky has a single, a double, and a triple in her first 3 at-bats.
Well, she may get an opportunity to finish that. Is there a softball term for that?
Well, it's a cycle.
A cycle.
And Steph will scamper over to third a lot. This is the only out of the inning so far, Kelsey Nucky. But she's got a runner on third. This has been a big inning. This has just been a big inning, simply put. 8 runs and counting for West Torrens and still 1 out. They are just piling it on. And Kelsey Nucky, this one drifts over to third and just gets through. And Kelsey Nucky gets aboard. Steph Tracinsky scores, and an RBI for Kelsey Nucky. Does that make, how's this for a stat? Everybody except for Lana Kaesler has an RBI this inning.
Wow, that is a stat.
But she scored.
She's made a contribution.
Everybody, that's unbelievable. Everybody has an RBI, so another one there. So that is, how many runs have crossed this inning, Lee?
I've got 7.
I think 8, isn't it?
8 or 9?
This innings.
This innings.
9.
9 this innings. Yeah, it is 12-0.
3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8, 9.
9. Yep, that's it.
Wow.
Yep.
Everybody is scoring.
Oh, that's a good change up there by Tash. So she's just, again, just changing it up a little bit now, making it, the batter's obviously keen and excited to be hitting now, so she just got to take that energy away from them by those change-ups and a few other things.
Steph Tracinsky has scored twice in this inning. And here's a hit. This one is going to go, though, this time right towards Taylor Chillingworth, so it is the second out. Now, what I kind of want to see, I know this inning is going a little crazy, but everybody has scored except for Kelsey Nucky in this inning. Kelsey Nucky is on base right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see every Eagle score this inning.
Now, that's a stat you don't hear very often, isn't it?
So Jackie Beal steps in. She had an RBI single in her last at-bat earlier in this inning. In a 12-0 game.
With these natural right-handers, Eric, you don't pitch them outside when they bat left-handed because they'll just find a gap there, which Jackie probably will, like that.
This is going to be a tough play, though. Picked up, throw across the diamond. She's
done
safe.
It again.
That's 2 times in this inning. She's done that little bunt single, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely working for her.
Well, I think it was a clean swing of the ball, but just miss it, I think.
Same
result. Gets on base.
How's this? She's got a single and a double. She had the 2 RBI double earlier in this inning. What a game she's had. A late addition to the lineup. It was Amy Wheeler originally slotted in there, but Mary getting an opportunity to show what she can do.
As the DP, can't ask for much more than that, Eric.
Nope, 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
Exactly what you want out of your DP, so she's doing a good job.
West Torrens piling it on. Enough talking about how dangerous this lineup can be. They're showing it right now. Here's a hard hit ball. Chillingworth picks it up, and she's going to get the force out at second. So after all of that, 9 runs cross the plate in the 1 inning, and it is a 12-0 game after, well, we go to the bottom of the 3rd. We're not even done 3. Meanwhile, it's been 6 up, 6 down for Port Adelaide.
Sure has. Good job. Good job by West Torrens, and certainly again, another good hit out at the moment.
Everybody has had 3 plate appearances for West Torrens. Port Adelaide haven't even got through their lineup once.
Yeah, well, and look, unless things change dramatically in 2 innings, I'm sure this will be one that Port just want to put behind them very, very quickly and move on. It's early days, and you know they know that they've still got Yogrower to come back in.
So here's the mercy roll for you. 7 ahead after 5 innings, 10 after 4, and 15 after 3. So the 10 after 4 is going to be in serious question here, with Port Adelaide needing to get it back to single digits before the end of the 4th inning. It is a 90-minute game, and there's about 40 minutes left in that. But this has been an impressive performance from the West Torrens Eagles. They haven't allowed a hit, and they've got a lot of them.
13 safe hits.
That's unbelievable, Lee.
Yep, it is. This
including a home run.
Yeah, part of at this part of the game, Eric. You know.
I mean, these are tough for any team, but when you're on the other side, when you're on the other end, it's no fun of this too. Kathy, what is the mindset here? What do you have to? What would you be telling the Port girls right now? The game probably out of reach, although you can never say never, but it's going to take a lot.
Yeah, I think what you know, if Butch might be saying to them, or Coach Sims might be saying to them, look, the game, we're still playing a game here, so you know, take out what you can. Still see more pitches. You know, try and get the ball on the ground. Try and hit safe hits. Let's get ourselves on bases and make things happen.
So that positive energy and get something going.
Yeah, absolutely have to. Every opportunity you hit to me, every time you come on the diamond, there's an opportunity to learn something. So whether game's out of reach or not, you know, there's still an opportunity to learn and become a better player every time you face a pitch. And
Gemma Letton.
Nice little hit there from Gemma.
Gets the first hit of the day for Port Adelaide, so can they get something brewing? Finally, one finds a little gap, a single to center field. Nothing that anyone could do about that one. So there you go, the bottom of the lineup getting something started. That's a good positive. Yeah,
and so, you know, that's what you've got to do because, again, early days, you got young players. You know, there's going to be a lot of times when you might be in this situation. So it's how you still can get something out of the game.
Well, you never know. It's going to take probably two pretty big innings from Port Adelaide. But that is still possible. They could put up a number here, put up a number in the 4th. So even though 12 is a huge number, and I think that would be the highest scoring, I think this is one of the biggest totals of the season West Torrens has put up of any team in the competition. It's still not over till it's over.
It's not, no. And from West Torrens' point of view, too, Coach Scott here has got to make sure that they're not getting ahead of themselves. So, you know, there's learning going on both sides because,
good point.
Again, it's kind of potentially it could be easy just to go out to the field now and think, oh, yeah, it's pretty casual, you know, we've won. But, you know, it's every play is an important play to be switched on and making sure that, you know, you're giving it your best.
What do you think, Lee?
Well, I think they've just got she lost her footing. A legal pitch called. Didn't deliver the ball when she stepped forward.
So is that just called a ball?
No, it's called a ball, but it's an illegal pitch.
And the runner gets to take a
yeah.
And she gets anybody on base gets a base.
Not really sure what happened with there.
She just lost her footing, I think.
Right, okay.
And this one just slips away. But you're right, though. You can't take away your focus at all, can you?
No.
You've got to treat it as a 0-all ball game and forget about the score. You've got nothing you can do about that, what's going. It's what's in front of you have to do.
And sometimes it's that positive momentum that gets things going, just like West Torrens. Kelsey Nucky bobbles this one, but she recovers nicely, steps on the bag. You don't see that too often from Kelsey, but a good recovery, and she is out.
And advances Gemma off to third.
So let's get the first run across the board here for Port Adelaide. Michaela Yankovic coming to bat. Then they'll turn the lineup back over to Jess Neves. She hit a home run in fully loaded. And here's a good piece of hitting.
That was big.
Opposite field. They've gone opposite field a couple times today, Port Adelaide, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. That one, again, that would have been one of those that kind of just ends up in the corner there and multiple base hit. was just off. Yeah, Jess had a good hit in Fully Loaded. Nice home run. It's such an exciting game. I hope you all can join and tune in again on Thursday for the second week of it.
For those new to it and haven't seen it before, bases start loaded in every inning, and they're 3-inning games. They're short, they're fast-paced, they're pretty fun. You get some high-scoring games. The fence is brought in. You get some home runs. That'll be back on Thursday night. We hope you can join us, 7 p.m. That one kicks off with 3 games, and this one just bloops right to Nucky. That's unlucky for Port Adelaide. Just not much going their way.
Top of the lineup.
Top of the lineup, Jess Neves. This one grounded over to short. Harris scoops and fires, and they keep the runner off the board. So just the single base hit allowed through 3 innings, and it is a 12-0 game. Okay, if you're just joining us, here's the quick game recap for you. Jordan Harris starts the game. It was probably a sign of things to come. She sends a single out to center field. It was just misplayed a little bit, and she scored on that error. 1-0. Then in the second inning, with 2 outs, Mary Fuse comes to the plate. She has a nice at-bat, gets a single, gets on board. Then Jordan Harris goes bang. It goes off of the light post in left field. It's a 2-run shot. It's 3-0. And then in the third inning, every player reached. Every player had a hit. Every player except Kelsey Nucky, who had a hit in the inning, scored. Every player except Alana Kaesler had an RBI, but she scored in the inning. It was just relentless hitting. And these weren't big hits. They were just singles. Couple doubles. That was really all it was. It was just relentless hitting, wasn't it, Lee?
It certainly was. And will there be more to come here, do you think, Eric and Kathy? Or?
Well, we're back to the top of the lineup to start it with Jordan Harris, and she's had 2 singles and a home run today.
Well, I think Tash Straps has settled in now, and she'll be better this innings.
It's too bad she couldn't leg out a double on one of those 2 singles. I know they weren't in the right place. I know she scored on one of them, but then this would be a real opportunity for a cycle.
For the cycle. I'm going to remember that, Eric. Thanks for sharing that with me.
Come on, Jordan. You had to get a double on one of those.
Just get greedy, Jordan.
This isn't the official scoring, but I assume that first hit of the game would have been scored a single and then scored on an error.
Yeah, I think in my...
And Jordan Lambert floats this one out to right field, and she's human.
Nice to see she's only human like the rest of us.
She is out.
Yeah, great catch there by Michaela. This looked cruisy into there, and I wasn't really sure, but she just got her glove out there.
You don't see Jordan hit that side of the diamond very often.
No, I saw it a little bit on Thursday night, though, so I don't know whether she's
that's
trying
in
to
the
change
chaos ball.
Fully loaded.
Jordan Lambert will have to settle for a home run, a near inside the Parker, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Unfortunately, she's not perfect. She did get out.
You can tell her that, Eric.
Yeah.
I'll leave that one to you.
That's going to be a hard conversation.
That's if you get a word in.
Yeah. Alana Kaesler up to bat. She's got a hit, 2 hits, and she's scored. I think it might have been an error ruled on the last one. What did you score that as, Lee?
I put an error.
Error, yeah.
A couple of errors by the third base in the last innings.
But she also reached on a walk, so she's been on base every time she's come to plate. Alana Kaesler, and
that's a great take. Wow.
Taylor Chillingworth robs Lana Kaesler. Where's Sophie Hoyle? Arrest her. She just robbed her of a base hit.
That was fantastic. Backhanded, in the air, full stretch. Let's take another look at that on the replay here. Oh, brilliant.
Handy being tall.
Handy.
So 2 outs
and athletic.
After the last inning where they couldn't get an out, they've got 2 quick outs. Funny how this game works sometimes.
That's why we say it's never over till it's over. You need to stay switched on from start to finish.
See, Tasha's looking better this inning, isn't she, pitching? She would have thought she was at first base for the day, and all of a sudden, she's in.
So this is the 4th inning, the top of the 4th inning. 12-0 West Torrens lead. The mercy rule might come into play because if it is a 10-run lead after 4, this ball game will be over. So when Port Adelaide come up to bat, they're going to need at least 3 runs to keep this game going. That is if West Torrens don't add anything more here, but they're in a good spot. There's 2 outs and nobody on base.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, it's achievable. We've seen some games in the last.
And there's a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Go figure.
Pitch. Yeah,
Go figure.
Good inning, Port Adelaide, and great job out there by Tash Straps.
So that's the formula. They need 3 runs to continue the game. But there are some other games later today. Hills and Seacombe. Hills have 5 premiership points. Seacombe have 3. So an important game for Seacombe. They can jump back up there. We're going to assume West Torrens move up to 6 points. That would put them 2 behind Port Adelaide and 4 behind Sturt, who have 10 premiership points. And then Walkerville and Sturt in a game I'm really looking forward to later. They have 10 points. Walkerville has 6. Walkerville a chance to get to the top 2 with a win today. Lee, any predictions for the games?
Hills and Sturt, is it? Did you say?
Hills and Seacombe.
Hills and Seacombe. I'll go a tie, 5-all.
5-all. Wow.
Yeah.
Big call. What about you, Kathy? What are you thinking for the games later today?
Hills and Seacombe. Wow, Hills have been, they've had some good games in the last few. I've seen a few real nail biters, and look, they're a new side this year, and they've got a lot of momentum going, a lot of excitement. They've had a few changes into their team, and I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna as solid as Seacombe have been. I'm just gonna give it to them with just the way they've played the last couple of weeks. Well, but the hard one for me to call is Sturt Walkerville.
I think Walkerville had a really nice game defensively versus Port. They were really good behind Riley Moore, who's another young pitcher finding the group. I think Walkerville might take that one. It's going to be a battle on our hands.
It is going to be a battle.
It'll be dramatic. Sturt always leave things last minute anyway, so I'm sure Walkerville will be up 3-0. Sturt will have a rally. That's just what happens.
That is.
Ella Forrester leads things off here in the 4th. Port Adelaide need 3 runs to extend the game in a game that is literally being all West Torrens. They've allowed just the single hit, and they've got, well, I can't even keep track anymore, Lee.
Well, there's only been 1 K2 for the entire game.
The entire game. That's interesting.
And
we just saw that last batter.
And that was Tash.
Faith.
Tash striking somebody out.
Oh, yeah, Tash striking Faith out.
And that was the last batter we saw before Ella Forster, who just stays alive, chops it foul. That's the first strike on her, sorry. What do I know? Definitely glad that everybody could join us here wherever they're watching. Thank you very much to Spacequake Sports, NITV, all the coverage, Softball SA. Next live stream coming Thursday, fully loaded softball. MC Sportswear replays have been great, and Lee with the leading team's special comments. And a diving catch attempt from Steph Tracinsky, which you always get a bit nervous about her going diving there. She's trying to recover from an injury too, but she made a great effort on the play.
Fantastic effort.
Let's check that out on the MC Sportswear replay there. Wow, what an effort.
Oh, it was in her glove.
Yep.
Oh, it's just when her elbows hit the ground, it's come out. What a shame.
I think in the NFL, that would have been called a catch because the contact was made either way. What's a catch? Who knows? But the MC Sportswear replay showing a great opportunity there. But as we're getting later in here, anyone catching your eye for the leading team's player of the game? It's hard to choose one. Everyone's made a big contribution. Here's a big hit.
That's a big hit.
That's Taylor Chillingworth. She's going to get in there to second, easily standing up. So don't count out this game being over quite yet. Port Adelaide need 3 runs. They've got a runner on second and a runner on third. And Cara Tilton, who's been a big hitter this year, is coming up to bat.
Yeah, Cara's been in form. 6 hits from 17 at bats.
Great form.
And that's what young people do to you, don't they? They just keep going. They just keep going.
You gotta love to see the fight from Port Adelaide here. They were down 12, now they're gonna get the 1-2-3 inning, and now they're trying to string together some rallies. Versus a team that hasn't allowed a run in a couple games, but this one's skied up in the air, and there you go, just lost by Cara Schultz. That's gonna get a runner on first, so the bases are loaded. I think it was just lost in the sun, as we might see in the MC replay.
I think it might have been, but we'll have a look at the MC replay here, and yeah, it's a very solid player, so that's I
think she just lost it last second and had to make an adjustment.
And just like that, here we are.
Bases loaded. Megan Williams, one swing of the bat can extend this game. Nicknamed Chicken, Lee.
Yes, I don't know why. Probably for some foul reason. I don't know.
I see what you did here, Lee. Clever man, Lee Hull on the leading team's comments. That's the highlight of the game. Cut that one up. Put that on Facebook.
You'll hear it again, I'm sure. Not in this game, though. Never waste my good stuff twice in the same game. Megan's a good batter when she's going. Same with Tash Straps and Gemma Letton. Got a hit last time at bat.
Can they get a string together of hits? Nice play. They're trying to get back
that's
there, and it's a
great
double play.
Bang, bang play. Look at that.
There's your player of the day, I think, of the match, Eric. Jay Harris.
Here's a look at the MC replay.
Yeah, good quick footwork there just to get herself in the right position to secure that throw down to Lana.
Bases loaded, no outs, to bases first and second, 2 outs. And if Port Adelaide don't cash in 3 runs, this game is over with a mercy rule. How about that play? What a game that she's having. This one's going to go up there, and it would be very fitting that Jordan Harris is going to make the final out of this game. She had a home run. She legged out an inside the Parker. She smashed one over the fence. She had 4 RBIs and a couple really nice defensive plays. It is 12-0 after 4, and that should do it, shouldn't it?
That's it.
That is it.
That is it.
The umpires, I think, are, yep, they're leaving it. Port Adelaide's still heading out to the field, but the game's over. 12-0, final score. Just a whitewash, to be totally honest. Lee, who is your leading team's player of the game?
Well, I think by a long stretch, Jordan Harris, Nee Lambert. Batting, fielding, brilliant. Running, back to her best. When she first came back after being married to the great man, James, she was a little bit proppy, cut some of her throws. Shell-shocked, as you would be. He's not here to defend himself.
No, he's not here to defend himself. So
well, let's keep going. No.
And can't pick Jordan Harris, unfortunately. She's probably the shoe-in for this one, but pick someone else for me, Kathy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll leave that decision to the two of you. Steph Tracinsky, how did she go in the stats?
Steph Tracinsky had a big game. She had a single, a double, and a triple.
Yeah.
And she made that almost amazing play. But yeah, Steph Tracinsky had the single, double, and the triple. She scored twice. She had 2 RBIs. She had a pretty big game. And I'm just going to give a special shout-out to the pitcher. How about 2 back-to-back shutouts from Taylor Mead? They've now not allowed a run in 2 games. Taylor Mead is, it hasn't been those big strikeouts. She didn't have a strikeout in this game, but keeping the runs off the board.
Yeah, that's just gonna help her confidence and get stronger and more confident every week, just to have games like that and back-to-back ones, not just one here and there, and then maybe a blowout or something here and there, but like some consistency, and that's exactly what someone so young and developing really needs.
Well, as the teams debrief their games, this is where we will say goodbye. Lee Hull on the leading team's comments, as joined by Kathy Lambert. I'm Eric Ballner. Thank you very much for everybody joining us all across our channels. Thanks to Spacequake Sports for the productions. Thanks to everybody tuning in wherever you're watching. I'm Eric Ballnar. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on Thursday for Fully Loaded.